Welcome to BookBuzz Reviews and Summaries. There exists a force so powerful, so deeply woven into the fabric of human greatness, that few ever recognize it for what it truly is. Some call it a burden, others call it a weakness. Society labels it as being too emotional, too sensitive, or too fragile. But I tell you this, emotional sensitivity is not a curse, it is a superpower. It is the force that allows you to see what others miss. It is the deep, burning fire inside you that connects you to the world in ways that logic alone never could. It is the foundation of your creativity, your intuition, and your ability to touch lives in a way that others only dream of. But what happens when this power is misunderstood, when your emotions overwhelm you, when the world tells you to toughen up or stop overreacting, when every feeling cuts deeper than it should? What do you do then? Do you suppress your nature? Do you shrink back and try to become less sensitive, dimming your light in an attempt to fit into a world that does not understand your depth? No. You rise. You learn to master your emotions, rather than be mastered by them. You harness your sensitivity as the secret weapon that will unlock your greatest success, your most fulfilling relationships, and your true potential. The world has tried to convince you that you must change to survive. I am here to tell you that the world is wrong. For history has shown us that the greatest minds, the greatest leaders, the greatest creators, those who have shaped humanity itself, were not those who felt less. They were those who felt more. Consider the great visionaries, the artists, the thinkers, and the revolutionaries. Every single one of them possessed a depth of emotion that set them apart. They were not ordinary because they refused to be. Now, the question is, will you? This book is not about escaping your emotions. It is not about numbing them, hiding from them, or pretending they do not exist. It is about understanding them, owning them, and transforming them into the greatest asset of your life. This is your moment to step into your power, to embrace what makes you different, to finally stop running from yourself and start running toward your greatest destiny. The emotionally sensitive person, finding peace when your emotions overwhelm you. Part 1. Understanding the power of emotional sensitivity. Chapter 1. The hidden power within you. The world does not recognize the greatness within you, for it is shrouded by the very thing society often condemns, your heightened emotional sensitivity. But let me tell you something crucial. What others see as a burden, as a weakness, is in fact a rare and extraordinary gift. You feel deeply. You experience the world in colors others cannot even begin to comprehend. You are not cursed, you are empowered. And as you read this, you must decide whether you will allow your emotions to rule you, or whether you will harness them as the most powerful force in your life. This book, much like the principles of success, is about transformation. It is about shifting from suffering to strength, from self-doubt to self-mastery. It is about embracing your sensitivity not as a liability, but as a tool that can guide you to peace, fulfillment, and an unstoppable sense of purpose. Chapter 2. The nature of emotional sensitivity. Why you feel more than others. What separates you from those around you? The answer is clear. You have been gifted with an intensity of emotion that others cannot fathom. Your highs are soaring, your lows are cavernous, and the world often seems too loud, too harsh, too overwhelming. But do you know why this is? Science tells us that emotionally sensitive individuals have a heightened nervous system response. Your brain is wired to notice what others ignore. Your heart is tuned to frequencies most cannot hear. And while this can bring deep pain, it can also bring immense joy, creativity, and connection, if only you learn how to wield it. History is filled with the stories of great minds and souls who felt deeply, poets, leaders, visionaries. What set them apart was not their suffering, but their ability to transform it into something meaningful. You have that same potential. But first, you must learn to navigate the storms within. Chapter 3. The double-edged sword. Blessing or burden. At this moment, you stand at a crossroads. You can see your emotional sensitivity as a chain that binds you, or you can see it as the fire that fuels your greatness. The choice is yours. The emotionally sensitive person faces a world that does not always understand them. Relationships can be challenging. Your intensity may frighten others. Your reactions may be misinterpreted. At times, the weight of your emotions may feel unbearable. But do you think the great leaders of history allowed the weight of their challenges to crush them? No, they used adversity as fuel, as motivation, as the driving force to their ultimate success. You must do the same. You must learn to manage your emotions with wisdom and discipline. You must recognize when your feelings are guiding you toward growth and when they are leading you into unnecessary suffering. And above all, you must never, ever see yourself as weak. For you are not weak. You are powerful beyond measure. Chapter 4. Why the world needs people like you. In a society that often values logic over emotion, many fail to see the true power of sensitivity. But the world needs emotionally sensitive people. It needs your ability to connect, to empathize, to create, to heal. The greatest leaders, the most beloved visionaries, Martin Luther King Jr., Mother Teresa, Mahatma Gandhi, what did they all have in common? A profound emotional depth, a passion that could not be silenced, a heart that refused to be hardened. You, too, have the ability to change lives, to influence, to inspire. But first, you must take control of your emotions. You must become the master of your sensitivity, not its servant. The road ahead will not be easy. There will be challenges, setbacks, moments of doubt. But remember this: every successful person in history has faced obstacles. It is those who push forward, who refine their strengths, who embrace their uniqueness. Those are the ones who leave their mark on the world. And you are no different. Your journey to mastery begins now. Are you ready? Part 2. Mastering Emotional Sensitivity, Transforming Chaos into Strength. Chapter 5. The Art of Emotional Self-Mastery. You cannot rise to greatness while being enslaved by your own emotions. Let this truth burn into your mind. Your emotions are your greatest power, but only if you control them. If you let them control you, they will destroy you. Many people with emotional sensitivity walk through life as victims, believing that their reactions are beyond their control. They say, "I can't help it. I feel things too deeply." But tell me, does the master craftsman allow his tools to dictate his work? Does the general let the battlefield determine his strategy? Absolutely not. He takes command, and so must you. The moment you understand that your emotions are not random storms, but forces you can harness, everything changes. You will no longer be tossed by the waves of overwhelming feelings. Instead, you will become the captain, steering your ship with precision. The key to emotional self-mastery is not to suppress your emotions, but to direct them, to channel them toward power, toward peace, toward the life you were meant to live. How do you do this? With discipline, with awareness, and with the unwavering belief that you, and only you, hold the key to your own mind. Chapter 6. Building Your Inner Fortress, Tools for Emotional Resilience. Picture this. Two men stand in the face of a storm. One is shaken, battered, and ultimately destroyed by the winds. The other stands firm, unyielding, untouched by the chaos around him. The difference: one has built his inner fortress, a stronghold of resilience that no storm can penetrate. As an emotionally sensitive person, you must construct your own fortress. You must have tools, powerful weapons that help you stand strong when emotions threaten to overwhelm you. These are your weapons. 1. The power of awareness. Most people react without thinking. They feel an emotion, and they are instantly ruled by it. But you must become the observer, not the slave. When anger rises, you say, "I see you." When sadness looms, you whisper, "I acknowledge you, but you will not control me." The moment you become aware of an emotion, you strip it of its power. You shift from being a victim to being the one in command. 2. The pause before reaction. One of the greatest secrets of emotional mastery is this: between stimulus and response, there is a pause, and in that pause lies your power. Before reacting to pain, criticism, or fear, take a deep breath. Do not speak, do not act, wait. In that brief moment, you take back control. You decide how you will respond, rather than letting your emotions dictate your actions. 3. Mastering your environment. Your surroundings affect your emotions more than you realize. Toxic relationships, negative influences, a chaotic living space, these are chains that drag you down. Cut them loose. Your environment must support your peace, not sabotage it. Surround yourself with people who uplift you. Seek places that bring you calm. Create an atmosphere where your mind can thrive. For the mind is a shield. Imagine wearing an invisible armor, a mental shield that protects you from the harshness of the world. Every morning, before you step into the chaos of life, strengthen this shield. Affirmations. Speak power into existence. I am in control of my emotions. I decide my responses. Visualization. See yourself calm, unshaken, powerful. Your mind believes what it sees. Breath work. The breath is the anchor of the soul. Slow it down, and you slow down the storm within. These tools are not optional. They are necessary. If you fail to build your inner fortress, the world will tear you down. But if you do, you will become unstoppable. Chapter 7. Breaking free from emotional triggers. Emotional sensitivity is a superpower, but it can also be a curse if you allow triggers to control you. A word, a glance, a past memory, these can ignite emotions in you so powerful they consume you. Because your subconscious mind is holding on to old wounds like a clenched fist. It is time to release them. Here's how. Step 1. Identify your triggers. Ask yourself, what makes me lose control? What situations, words, or people set me off? Write them down. Face them. Name them. You cannot conquer an enemy you refuse to acknowledge. Step 2. Reframe the meaning. Your reaction is not caused by the event itself. It is caused by the meaning you have assigned to it. Change the meaning and you change the emotion. Instead of, they ignored me, which means I am unworthy, say, they ignored me, which means they are distracted and it has nothing to do with me. Instead of, I failed, which means I am useless. Say, I failed, which means I am learning and growing stronger. Your mind is a machine. Reprogram it, and it will serve you rather than sabotage you. Step 3. Build emotional immunity. When something triggers you, practice detachment. Step back. Observe the feeling instead of drowning in it. Repeat to yourself, I am not my emotions. I control my emotions. Do this enough times, and you will find that what once triggered you no longer holds power over you. This is how you break free. This is how you become unshakable. Chapter 8. The Power of Choosing Peace. At the end of the day, all of this comes down to a choice. Do you choose to be at war with your emotions, or do you choose peace? Because here's the truth. You do not have to react to everything you feel. You do not have to engage in every battle. You do not have to let your emotions pull you down. You can choose peace. You can choose mastery. This is not easy. It requires discipline, awareness, and the courage to stand against the tide of your own emotions. But those who succeed, those who master their emotional sensitivity, become the rare, powerful individuals who shape their own destiny. And now, the question remains, will you be one of them? Part 3. Turning sensitivity into strength, thriving in a world that misunderstands you. Chapter 9. The secret power of emotional sensitivity. There is an unseen power within you, an ability so profound, so unique, that most people go through life without ever tapping into it. This power is your emotional sensitivity. For too long, you have believed the lie that sensitivity is a weakness. Society has told you to toughen up, to stop overreacting, to control your emotions. But let me ask you this. Would you tell a diamond to dull its brilliance? Would you ask the ocean to stop its tides? Your emotions are not the problem. Your lack of understanding them is. The truth is, emotional sensitivity is the foundation of greatness. It allows you to connect deeply, to feel intensely, to perceive the world in ways others cannot. It is the source of empathy, of intuition, of creativity. And those who master it, they are the ones who lead, inspire, and transform the world. Now is the time to step into your power. The time to stop apologizing for feeling deeply. The time to use your emotional sensitivity as the superpower it was meant to be. Chapter 10: Mastering Relationships, the Gift of Deep Connection. Many emotionally sensitive individuals struggle in relationships because their emotions run deeper, their connections feel stronger, and their pain cuts sharper. But what if I told you that your sensitivity could be the key to extraordinary relationships? The secret lies in understanding yourself first. If you do not master your emotions, you will drown in them. If you allow your reactions to control you, your relationships will suffer. But if you harness your emotions, you will become a force of connection, understanding, and love. Learning to communicate without overwhelm. Most people listen to respond. You must listen to understand. Your sensitivity allows you to pick up on unspoken words, hidden emotions, and subtle shifts in energy. Use this as a tool, not a burden. Instead of reacting instantly, pause. Feel what is happening within you. Then respond with wisdom, not emotion. Setting boundaries without guilt. The emotionally sensitive person often gives too much, absorbs too much, and burns out too quickly. This must end today. Boundaries are not selfish, they are essential. If you do not protect your energy, no one else will. Learn to say, I will not absorb the emotions of others. I do not have to fix everyone's problems. I am worthy of relationships that nourish me, not drain me. Boundaries are not walls, they are gates that let in only what serves you. Guard your energy, and you will thrive. Choosing the right people. Not everyone is meant to walk this journey with you. Some will misunderstand you, drain you, or take advantage of your kindness. Let them go. Surround yourself with those who appreciate your depth, who see your sensitivity as a strength, not a weakness. Choose people who lift you up, who challenge you to grow, who respect your emotions rather than dismiss them. When you master your relationships, you create a life filled with genuine connection, purpose, and love. And that is the key to thriving. Chapter 11: Emotional Sensitivity in a Harsh World, Becoming Unshakable. The world is loud, chaotic, and often unkind to those who feel deeply. But let me tell you a truth that will change everything. The strongest people are not those who feel the least, but those who feel the most and remain unshaken. You do not need to numb yourself to survive. You do not need to harden your heart to protect it. What you need is mental and emotional armor. Here's how you build it. 1. Stop absorbing other people's energy. You are not a sponge. You are a fortress. Emotionally sensitive people often take on the pain of others as if it is their own. This must stop. When you feel overwhelmed by someone else's emotions, remind yourself, this is not mine to carry. Breathe, step back, protect your peace. 2. Reframe negative experiences. Pain is inevitable, but suffering, that is a choice. Every setback, every harsh word, every emotional storm, these are not punishments. They're lessons. Instead of saying, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is this teaching me? Pain is a forge. If you use it wisely, it will make you stronger than you ever imagined. 3. Train your mind like a warrior. The mind is your battlefield. If you do not control it, it will control you. Every morning, prepare yourself, affirm your strength. I am emotionally powerful, not emotionally weak. Breathe deeply, ground yourself in the present. Visualize calmness. See yourself moving through the day, unshaken, untouchable. This is not just a practice, it is a way of life. And those who live this way, they become unbreakable. Chapter 12: the path to emotional freedom. You have spent years believing that your emotions were a burden. You have allowed them to rule you, to exhaust you, to make you feel small. But now you see the truth. Your sensitivity is a gift. Your emotions are powerful, and you are in control. This journey is not about eliminating emotions. It is about mastering them. It is about using your depth to create, to lead, to inspire. It is about turning what once felt overwhelming into a source of strength. But remember this, your emotions do not define you. You define them. You are not weak. You are powerful beyond measure. You are not alone. There are others like you, learning to thrive. This is your moment. The moment you stop fearing your emotions and start using them as the force of greatness they were meant to be. Will you step into your power? Part 4. The Mastery of Sensitivity, Creating a Life of Success, Joy, and Purpose. Chapter 13. Sensitivity as Your Superpower, Elevating Your Life to Greatness. What if I told you that the very thing you once saw as a weakness, your emotional sensitivity, was actually your greatest competitive advantage, that it was the hidden force behind some of the greatest artists, leaders, healers, and visionaries the world has ever known? Look at history. The world's greatest minds, Leonardo da Vinci, Marie Curie, Mahatma Gandhi, Maya Angelou, Steve Jobs, were people who felt deeply. They were emotionally attuned, sensitive to the world, and used that sensitivity to create, innovate, and inspire. And now, it is your time to do the same. You were not given this sensitivity by accident. It is a tool, a gift of perception, of intuition, of depth. It allows you to see what others miss, to feel what others suppress, to create what others cannot even imagine. But a gift unused is a gift wasted. And the greatest tragedy is to live beneath your potential. So, will you rise? Will you harness this power instead of fearing it? Will you step into the life you were meant to create? Because the moment you do, everything changes. Chapter 14. The Science of Emotional Flow, How to Work with Your Emotions, Not Against Them. Mastery does not mean suppressing your emotions. It means understanding them. Most people fight their emotions. They resist, deny, or bury them deep, hoping they will disappear. But emotions do not vanish. They fester, grow stronger, and eventually, they control you. But those who thrive, they flow with their emotions. Imagine a river. If you fight against its current, you exhaust yourself. But if you learn to move with it, to navigate it, you reach your destination faster and with greater ease. This is the secret of emotional flow. 1. Recognize emotions as messengers, not enemies. Your emotions are trying to tell you something. Instead of resisting them, ask, what is this emotion trying to teach me? Fear may be warning you to prepare. Sadness may be asking you to heal. Anger may be pushing you to take action. Listen, learn, use the message, then let it go. 2. Find your emotional rhythm. Every person has a rhythm, a natural cycle of highs and lows. When you are in a high-energy state, use it to create, to build, to take massive action. When you are in a low-energy state, allow yourself to rest, to recharge, to reflect. This is not weakness, it is wisdom. Work with your emotional rhythm, not against it. 3. Transform emotional energy into power. Emotions are pure energy. If you do not direct them, they will scatter. But if you focus them, they become fuel. Channel your anxiety into preparation. Channel your sadness into art, writing, music. Channel your anger into action, leadership, change. When you learn to transform emotions into power, you no longer fear them. You command them. Chapter 15. Thriving in the Real World, Creating Success on Your Terms. Your emotional sensitivity does not make you weak. It makes you adaptable. And in today's world, adaptability is the key to success. Too often, sensitive individuals believe they cannot handle high-pressure environments. But this is a lie. In fact, emotionally sensitive people often become the most successful because they are deeply aware of the needs around them. The key is learning how to structure your life so that your sensitivity works for you, not against you. 1. Choose work that aligns with your strengths. You are not built for toxic environments, mindless work, or soulless jobs. Your emotional depth demands purpose. Seek work that allows you to create, inspire, lead, or serve. Whether it is in the arts, counseling, entrepreneurship, leadership, or innovation, you must be in a place where your emotions are an asset, not a liability. 2. Master emotional recovery. The world can be draining. You must learn how to recharge. Build a routine that protects your energy, time in nature to restore your balance, meditation to quiet the mind, creative outlets to express emotions, learning and growth to keep your soul alive. Success is not just about action, it is about sustainability. Take care of yourself, and you will have the energy to achieve anything. 3. Use your intuition as a competitive edge. Most people make decisions based on logic alone. You have an advantage, they don't. Your emotional sensitivity gives you a heightened sense of intuition. You can feel when something is right. You can sense when an opportunity is wrong. Trust this ability. It is your compass. Great leaders, visionaries, and creators have always used intuition to guide them. Now it is your turn. Chapter 16. The Path to Emotional Freedom. Living a life of joy, purpose, and fulfillment. You have spent a lifetime believing your emotions were a burden. But now you know the truth. Your emotions are your strength. Your sensitivity is your power. Your depth is your advantage. This journey has not been about eliminating emotions. It has been about mastering them, owning them, and using them as fuel for your greatest life. So, where do you go from here? You create. You lead. You inspire. You live fully, without fear of your emotions. Because here is the final truth. The world does not need you to be less emotional. It does not need you to be quieter, smaller, or tougher. The world needs you to be fully, unapologetically you. The world needs people who feel deeply, people who care, people who understand, people who transform pain into beauty, challenge into growth, and emotions into wisdom. Thanks for listening to Book Buzz reviews and summaries.